sort of stemmed from people coming to me at shows going like, I've never really seen anyone play drums like that. Just, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's with all the faces and like, you know, you must look like you're having a good time. What's behind this and what are you thinking about when you like go like, you know? And I guess, I think for me that plays into the physicality of the drums, and this is something new for me, playing with musicians who use so much imagery in the music that partly comes out. You start to think and play like a dancer. You almost get into that kind of, where, you know, you get a song with a guy, and you can kind of feel it, and then it just starts kind of coming out of you, and you can almost use the movements of your body to start timing your next hits, and using that to embellish. And how I was saying, musically you can use like a, to start building tension. People are going like, oh my God, something's coming, something's coming! You know, you can do that too with your body, and you can do that with like a bulge of your eyes, and you can do that with like a look, you know, or a glance or something funny like that. And me just kind of being who I am and being like hugely influenced by the Muppets and cartoons and the Three Stooges and all the stuff I used to watch when I was little, a lot of that comes out. I have a blast when I play, and sometimes it's more of like a serious kind of feeling, and other times it's more of like a humorous kind of thing. But it's a fine line between the light and the dark side. That's for sure. But yeah, I think just being open to that, being open to your own physicality, dropping your inhibitions and saying like, oh man, I must look like such a dork or whatever. Like, screw all that. You're up there to like play music and to emote, you know. And you don't think it when you cry, when you break down and you just go like, ah! Like you're not thinking about what you look like. You're just going for it, and that's, you know. Or you get pissed and you lose that sense of inhibition or judgment from other people. You're just emoting purely, and that's such a beautiful, refreshing, restorative place to be, you know. And you know, especially as an artist, when you're out there and you want to communicate something to somebody, say like, look, I got a story to tell, and being free of any feeling of judgment from the audience in that sense, and just really giving yourself wholly to the experience of being on stage and just being like, yes, like let me, it's here, like let's vibe, you know, it's there. So you break it down on all levels, and so that's where I think a lot of the freedom and the physicality comes to too, and also too being so just connected to one other person on stage. That was great. I mean, one of the things like Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald, they talk about when they made that first record together, that Louis put a lot of his playing into being able to almost sort of serenade someone, you know, that you have someone directly that you're playing to, you know, sort of when you're maybe in a group, you know, group with other guys and you're like, like doing your thing, but it depends, and you find ways of doing that, I think. Yeah, and so for me to have somebody to kind of like play to, and go, it's sort of when Amanda's kind of like singing and doing the straight man kind of thing, I can go off and be the kind of like clown, the sort of Harpo Marx kind of thing, you know, and that definitely frees you up in that sense to be able to like find what space or what sort of shoes can be stepped into, and then how to like fill that and manipulate the music and bring it even further. You know, I had the opportunity too to like be right up at the front of the stage, which allowed me a lot of eye contact with people, which is great. You don't get that like sitting in the back. You're just going like most of the time. But so that was really fun, and being able to play off people's reactions. That's where a lot of that stuff sort of started coming from. You would see someone laugh at something, and then you want to like play a little bit more, and then be like shoot them a funny look, and you just get people cracking up or whatever, you know. And so introducing that element of humanity to the music, and that sense of saying like, you know, we could easily switch, and I could be up there watching you and say like, how would I feel if I was you right now, and you know, how can I deepen your experience and your enjoyment as an audience member by giving you a little bit more of what I am, and not just trying to like play cool, forget the shit, but just love me. Just like really know how to really say like, good evening, friends, you know, and just like go for it. You know, no matter what the mood, even if it's more serious too, how to find maybe something in the lyric or something. Maybe there's like a musical passage that you know twists you the right way, and so you can lean into that a little bit more. You know. So yeah, good question. There's all those different ways that you can find that you can, I think, key in your own personal experience into that, you know, so that you don't just wind up sort of going through the motions and being like, oh man, I play this song a million times, but you can be right there with it and go like, yeah, I know how this song goes, but this is how I'm feeling it today. You know, and it doesn't have to be just jazz. It's again, like jazz, people get like the credit for playing like that, but I think that can come in any sense. In classical too, you either being able to interpret a piece in the moment, knowing what the framework is, and knowing maybe what the composer's initial agenda was and what they wanted you to feel, but how to sort of bend and shift it to what you're feeling right then and there. You know, or in rock music too. Keep it in the present. It's about now. You know, not about like some other place in your head and sort of being, you know, distracted by that, but by really being allowed to emote and sort of purge whatever stress or feelings or just general pride. I mean, this is what I use it for. I'm not saying everyone necessarily plays like this, but it can be very valuable in that sense.